Pick 'em pie, big gun Brian Petrie, giving out the lot. One is mortal, you know it won't miss. Gonna take a shot, dog lock, that's the underdog. Yeah, they in the hunt, send them homeless, KO or submission. Yeah, somebody done, slime ball, yeah, that's the parlay. We gon' make it known. Pick 'em pie from MMA tapes, yeah, let's get it going.
Woo! Woo! Your boy's struggling a little bit with the first pick 'em pot of the year. We're struggling a little bit. Got a little tummy issue. That's the thing. Kids don't get older, right? I've had a weak stomach my entire life. I've had to be able to shit really anywhere, right? We're jumping into the show about shitting, huh? I've had to learn how to shit in disgusting porta potties, every public place you can imagine, or I just couldn't live a normal life, right? Because my stomach is always so weak. When you get older, though, no matter what you eat, you feel like it's going to hurt your stomach. And it's like, for me, now that I'm 38 and I've had this tummy issue my whole life, if I have more cheese than I should have, then I'm fucking, you know what I mean? It's brutal. I haven't really eaten much, believe it or not, in the past like day or two. I don't know what it could have been, but man, tower. That's what my little girl says instead of sour, tower tummy on your boy. But I'm battling through. I got a Coke. That's the old remedy, right? That's what we do here in Ohio. My family says, oh, you got a headache? Gotta drink a little Coke, get some caffeine. You got a tummy ache? Gotta get the Coke, it'll set your stomach. My wife, she's from Northern Kentucky. Her family, it's a little bit different. It's Sprite. We do Coke, she does Sprite, but it's kind of the same thing. So what's up? We got the pick'ems. This card is, well, it's just okay. You know, I was going to have Evan Longoria on this week. I think we're going to have, we're going to have him on next week to kick off the year. And then there's the State of the Union. There's a bunch of people that have thrown their hat in the ring that are longtime listeners that now want to come on and be in front of the camera. Huh? And I love that. Like I said, I've been real stubborn with it about who I wanted on, or if I want to reach out, or all that bullshit. No more. We're going to mix it up a little bit. Of course, Timbo and Christian are going to be on as well. Because I love those guys. Those guys are my day one. So we're gonna mix everything up. But I really appreciate all the people who have reached out and said, hey, I want to be on. I want to do it. I think I can do it. I think I can rock with it. And I think that's cool. I think I've commented or at least reached out back to all those people. If I haven't, I'm going to do it now or when I finish doing this. That way we can set tentative plans and stuff like this, because obviously there's a paper or fight this week, which no one's on. Duh. You're looking at it. Next week's my boy, number 3, Evan Longoria. Then I think we have a break before Saudi, or is it Saudi then a break? Can't fully remember. Doesn't matter. We'll lock someone in for that week as well, moving forward. And then and if you're out in LA, baby, if you're out in I know LA's huge, so it doesn't affect everyone in Southern California. A good friend of mine I grew up with, love him to death. He lived in Hawaii for many, many years. Him and his beautiful fiance just moved to Southern California, I believe. And I reached out to him because, again, I don't know how. I've never been to Southern California. I know it's very big, but I see these wildfires and I get scared. He's safe. I believe they had to evacuate his mother-in-law, future mother-in-law. And yeah, that's fucking brutal out there. All these fires and stuff like that. I'm not smart enough to understand why they're happening. I understand California doesn't get a lot of rain and everyone's making a political issue. That's not really my bag. My bag is I care about the people that are out there losing their homes and possibly, losing their lives, and that's nuts. So please stay safe if you're out there. I know the pay-per-view is supposed to be in LA next week. We'll see how that shakes out. That's the last thing from my mind. Forefront of my mind is hopefully people are getting out animals as well. I saw some horrible videos of maybe people weren't home or they evacuated and there's animals left by, whatever the case may be. Horrible stuff. Just if you're listening to this and you're out in that area and you're in the direct path of wildfires, hopefully you are safe and okay. And, things can get rebuilt and you can buy things back. Just remember, don't risk your life for an inanimate object. That's all I gotta say. God, I'm so, what? I said that with, I had no idea I was going to start the show with that. That literally, I just saw more stuff. I've been reading about it for the past few days on Twitter. I had no idea I was going to talk about that. That seemed a little ingenuine to me. I apologize if it was. I really do care about people that are out there. I don't, I just hope everyone's okay. All right, let's get to the fights. I'm not a fucking, I'm not a PSA service announcement kind of guy. Let's talk about some fights and throw some dick jokes in there. Joe Selecki plus 400 versus Aliev minus 535. Aliev, contender series guy. One of these fucking hairy dudes, you know what I mean? There you go. I'm offending people already. From Tajikistan. He's from a stand, so you better gram, baby. And he's fighting Joe Selecki, who I think is probably on his last legs in the UFC. Doesn't really have much going for me. He was a good grappler, but now he's getting exposed in the grappling. Grant Dawson worked him in the grappling, and his striking hasn't really come along. He hasn't really evolved his game. A little bit chinny. Can be knocked out. Has been knocked out before. Got slammed on his fucking head 2 fights ago. I'm going to Aliev here, probably by decision, but there could be a path for victory. So Selecki could be a little soft at times. And let me turn this thing off here, boys. So yeah, anything could happen there. Give me Aliev. Give me the boy from Tajikistan. I don't have a grand to bet a grand, or a grand to bet from the stand. I took all my money out of DK at the end of the year, so I got to reload up. But minus 535. Oosh. I mean, you could parlay them up, right? If you're a big game parlay hunter and you want to put a parlay in the entire card, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Minus 535 is a little high, a little steep, but you can get away with it. Why not? Fuck it. All right, next up, a couple chicks, huh? A couple females who can fight. Victoria Dudakova, plus 625. What the fuck? Versus Fatima Klein, if I'm pronouncing your name right, minus 950. Fatima Klein is Aaron Blanchfield's significant other, I believe. I hope I'm not spreading falsehood. I know when I exposed my crush on Aaron Blanchfield last year, Johnny said, sorry, bud, you're married, happily married, but also she's not really your type, or you're not really her type. And I believe Fatima is her significant other. Debuted in the UFC on short notice, lost against Jasmine Jasavicius, but was competitive with herself on short notice against Jasmine Jasavicius. I don't know why the number's 950. I think she's won some titles outside the UFC. She's a good striker. She's a good all-around fighter, but I don't know why the number's as high. Dudakova, kind of up and down in the UFC, right? I don't think she's like terrible. And when I say up and down, I just mean she lost her last fight. Excuse me. Contender series fight decision, KO over Estela Nunes, where she slammed Nunes on her arm and mangled just mangled it, right? Jinyu Fry was unanimous decision as well, but she looked pretty good in that fight. And then she dropped one to Sam Page. Sam Page, when you lose to Sam Hughes, I guess the Vegas and the betting odds go, listen, this chick lost to Slam Page. She couldn't get a takedown. She got outstruck. We're going to put her back to the line. I think Klein wins the fight, right? I think Fatima Klein wins the fight. There is no point spread currently on DK. I was looking at the point spread because I think Dudakova could squeak around in there. For sure could squeak around in here. I don't think Klein is a minus 950 against anybody in the world right now, especially a UFC fighter who's 3-1, albeit maybe a weak 3-1 record. Regardless, I'm going to take Dudakova at plus 625. I don't know if I'm going to play that money line. I was hoping to tell you 6.25, but the plus 3.5, the point spread is juicy. It's not available on DK yet. I'm going to keep an eye on that. We could even, I just think Dudakova has it in it to win maybe a round. If Klein starts slow and Dudakova wins round 1, boom, you cash your fucking ticket. It's going to be a nice little plus money. Klein being minus 950 is crazy. I advise you, you know what I mean, to not put her in any parlays whatsoever. Your boy knows chicks, right? And I think she could win, and she will win the fight more than likely. So yeah, you can put her in a BP. I'll put her in. You just said she's going to win the fight. So yeah, I'm going to put her in a parlay. But she's got no value, minus 950, and she's probably going to climb even more by Saturday, right? That doesn't give you any value, boys. You're taking pennies there for a potential loss. So I wouldn't do it. But I'm going Dudakova on the pick. I'm going the big doggy. And later in the week, maybe I'll tweet out that point spread whenever DK drops it, because that's going to be interesting, boys. All right, next up, Magomed Gustav. Here, this fucking name here. There we go. I even practiced this and I can't still say it. Magomed, nailed that. Gadzhiasulov. I think I did pretty good. I mean, it took me 45 minutes to say it, but that wasn't bad. Versus Bruno Lopez. Plus 180 for Lopez. Minus 218 for Magomed. This is a send him home if I've ever seen
Send
one.
him home early.
Tell him, Johnny, I think Magomed is going to wrestle fuck this dude to the ground. I think he's going to beat his head in on the ground. I think Lopez is a little weak. 13-1 record. I think both times in the Contender Series, he's almost pissed it away. He came back his last time, got the contract. I think, he's been around a little bit. I think people like him. I think there's some real power in there on the feet. Potentially, I think Magomed's going to take this dude down, pound him, and then the ref's going to stop him. We're going to get a TKO win. That TKO is plus 225 or KO. Magomed the win by KO is plus 225. So that's my send him home plus 225. Magomed just gonna fucking or was that 12 to 6? Boom, right there, split your fucking head open. He elbow in the top. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be a bloodbath. I like Magomed big here. Should have maybe put him in a slime ball. I came around this realization a little bit later when I was prepping. So I didn't change anything up, but I like Magomed big here. Minus 218, a little bit of a low number. Bruno Lopez got a little pop. You know what I mean? He does have a couple little comebacks. He got a little pop to him, but give me Magomed. I don't trust Bruno Lopez. Next up, Ernesta Kareckaite. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I practiced this one too. Let's get it up on the big screen here. Try to do phonetically. Ernesta, nailed it. Kareckaite. That's what it looks like. Kareckaite. I'm going to go Ernesta because I'm not going to embarrass myself anymore. Came to the Contender Series, looked phenomenal with some elite high volume striking. 184 strikes in 3 rounds. Impressive. Debuted against Diane Barboz, who is very average. Lost the unanimous decision. Kind of a weird fight. Diane Barboz took her down, controlled her a little bit, but Ernesta did land more significant strikes. She is going against Nicole Callery, who's coming from the Contender Series as well. She got a quick win in round 1, armbar. And consecutive lines, minus 270 for Ernesta, plus 220 for Callery. I'm going to go Ernesta. I like the striking. I like the volume. I don't like how she got planted and got taken down by Barboz and couldn't really get up, and then was maybe even a little hesitant because it kind of shut down her game. That's something she's got to work on being a striker. People are going to take you down. You cannot, first off, you got to get dynamite takedown defense. You got to get also dynamite, get the fuck up off your feet. You know what I mean? You got to get a good get up game, and then you can't let it shut down your main weapon to win in that striking. I think that's what she did last time. Cavalry here, Callery. Yeah, there it is, Callery. I think that's what she's going to do. It's an interesting plus money here because I think she's not as talked about. She's got this nice little juicy plus number here. Good submissions, decent little record against kind of nobodies, but she could surprise, right? I just think Ernesta, I like her striking. She flows really well, and if she's in a really good training camp and really good, just everything game plan, she can win this fight. She's just got to watch the takedowns. The takedowns are going to be probably a big issue for her if she doesn't fix it now, right? There's some people out there who come to the UFC who have really elite striking, and female or male, right? Like Ribas of Spain is a perfect example. The guy could fucking knock anybody on the feet, and he just had no takedown game. No takedown offense and no get up game. Now, I'm sure the guy was working on a little bit, but how fucking hard was he working on it? Because his fights that he dropped in the UFC, it doesn't look like he was working on it at all. It was pathetic. That's what I would tell this girl. No more hitting pads for fucking 45 minutes to an hour to lose some weight, to get the weight off. Let's fucking grapple. Let's get grapple. I'm going to put you on the bottom. You get your ass up. We're going to do that 15 times. You get 15 times and you get a break. That's what she needs. Hopefully she's getting that kind of training. I'm not really sure who she's training with, but give me Ernesta. And your boy knows chicks. So that's a dub. All right, next up, Preston Parsons. Plus 320 versus Jacoby Smith. Minus 410. Jacoby Smith coming out of, I think he's an Oklahoma boy. Definitely wrestled at Oklahoma State, but I believe he's repping Fortis MMA. Insane athlete. Looked really good in the Contender Series. Striking's really good. His wrestling's there if he needs it. A good athletic specimen here. Preston Parsons is a guy who, first off, his name is really funny to say. Preston Parsons. He has to have a nickname that starts with a P, doesn't he? Pressure. Yeah. Pressure. Preston Parsons. He's an awkward guy to fight because he's a good grappler as well, and he's had a wealth of experience, and he just doesn't go away all that easy. He's not the easiest guy to finish. His wrestling is at top notch, but he has size. He's got size on people, right? He's pretty bricked up. And again, the experience could weigh heavy on Jacoby Smith here. Jacoby Smith is going to have a dominant, probably first round. He's going to play it safe. He's going to pick his shots. He's going to wrestle when he wants to. Avoid Preston's wrestling, because Preston, I think, probably is at this point in his career, is a better submission grappler than Jacoby. I think Jacoby's the better wrestler. I think Preston Parsons is the better submission grappler. So if Jacoby slips up, gets tired, Preston knows I could probably snatch something up, because he's no slouch. Again, he's a big body dude for that division. I like Jacoby Smith here. I know it's a little high at -410. He's getting the Broadway number there. He's getting the, this guy's a superstar number. Preston Parsons, again, it wouldn't surprise me if he puts up a good fight, especially second half. First half of this fight, I think he's going to struggle. Second half of the fight, when he doesn't go away, I think Jacoby Smith might be like, oh shit, this is what it's like. This is a big bite off here for Jacoby Smith. And I think his manager and the people who represent him, I think they're speaking volumes when they say, all right, well, we'll take Preston Parsons. I mean, Preston Parsons had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 UFC fights. Jacoby Smith doesn't have one yet. So, and again, he's an awkward kind of guy. And he's not the best guy in the world. He has lost, you know what I mean? But he's an awkward dude. So if Jacoby can look good against Preston Parsons, and this is like a showcase fight for him, then that's special. And Jacoby Smith could be special. But I like Jacoby Smith. -410, hard to get to, but, I'll fucking take it. I'll take it. Next up, we got Trey Ogden. -164, 184, I can't read my handwriting, versus Thiago Moises. Here's something that I've never done in my life. well, doing this podcast. I filled everything out, right? I did the Anakin Florian on Monday. So we do the main card, and then obviously I prep kind of everything, and then the next day I do everything. So next day I do Tuesday, and then Wednesday I finalize everything. So just yesterday, I wrote down send him home's mortal locks and dog locks. Filled out my slime ball parlay, yada, you get the drill. I put Thiago Moises as my mortal lock, right?
Hello? Okay, this is dog.
Wrong button, new year, Rusty, sorry, here we go.
It's a mortal lock and I'm gonna wheel him.
I am so unconfident in this mortal lock. I was 75% last year. And when I break down this fight, my confidence is not going to be what it was for Jacoby Smith, who's -410, which is a little chunky, Magomed Gadzhiasulov, whatever the fuck, or even Onesta. Trey Ogden, coach/fighter, the reason I'm putting Thiago, who has been very up and down in his UFC career as of late, his jiu-jitsu is very good. His striking is good. He only really struggles with guys with like elite, like pressure and striking himself, right? Like Ludwig Klein shut him down. Benoit Saint-Denis knocked him out. Besides that, Joe Alvarez got him on the feet. Islam got him right. And then way back in the day, Damir Ismagulov got him. Besides that, right, the Ludwig Klein fight was his worst fight, in my opinion. He got knocked down twice. The guy's all heart, but Ludwig got that takedown, outstruck him, and just stayed away from him. Trey Ogden is not a fancy striker by any means. He's a big dude for the division. He tries to bully you. He wants to take you down. He wants to submit you. He wants to take your head home. I thought that matched up really well with Thiago Moises. However, I'm starting to question it. But I'm not one of these assholes that's going to second guess every fucking thing you do. 2 days ago, this brain picked Thiago Moises. Yesterday, I confirmed it. Now today's Brian with the little tummy ache is questioning the mortal lock. That's my mortal lock, Thiago Moises. He's also slime ball candidate number 1. Fuck this name. Fuck this flippy floppy bullshit. Give me Thiago Moises over Trey Ogden. Don't think it's gonna be easy. I think it's gonna be a grinder. I think +3.5 or whatever the point spread on Trey is very live. +3.5 on Trey is -175. Yeah, I mean, that's not the cleanest number in the world, but you could get it there. You could get there for sure. But I like Thiago Moises. He's my mortal lock. I wanted to let the world know, you guys know that you're like, well, why did he, if you're just listening audio and you're like, why was he so excited about the 2 fights before this or 3 fights before this and now his mortal lock? He's just whatever. I'm going to be honest with you guys, okay? Today I'm a little doubting. Hopefully by Saturday, I'm all in. Right? I want to get better than 70. I want to be at fucking 90%. If I put a mortal lock on a fighter, I want 90% chance I'm getting that shit right. I'm at 75, which is pretty goddamn good. But give me 90. Give me Thiago Moises. Give me the mortal lock. Fuck you. Let's go. Next up, Marco Tulio. Is that his name? Marco Tulio versus Ihor Poteria. Marco Tulio is minus 534 versus Poteria plus 400. That's what Vegas thinks about Poteria. Is this guy, again, I'm never going to forget what he did with Shogun. I know he did a little dance and then he was supposed to shoot, but yet he put the gun up here. It was a sign of respect, whatever. Fuck that. You did the little dance. You literally danced on Shogun's grave. I don't forget that. You're dead to me. On top of that, he's not a very good fighter. His chin isn't what it should be. His grappling isn't there. I'm not really sure what kind of fighter he wants to be. And you got Marco Tulio, who might be dating Big Norm. Is this Big Norm's boyfriend? I don't know. She's dating one. I think she's dating somebody on this card. Don't know. Cody Merrill knows who's dating who, but he might be dating Big Norm. Either way, Contender Series twice. Spinning back kick, knockout his last time out, and the time before that, he just won a decision. Landed a couple takedowns, landed some nice strikes. Just an average kind of build guy. I've looked at tape on him, and I think there is some flash to him. I think there is some real potential there for Tulio. I just don't know if he's met a ceiling yet or what he needs to do to kind of really jump off the page. I think he's a very durable, average fighter. However, minus 534 is a little aggressive. I know it's going against Poteria. If this was any other fighter besides Poteria, I'd be taking Poteria, right, at plus 400. The guys, regardless of him getting knocked out by the wind and he's soft as fucking baby shit, plus 400 is plus 400, babe. However, I like Tulio here. I do think he has some good striking. I think Poteria is going to try to smother him with his bigger body. He has a bigger frame than this guy. Smother him and just try to slow the fight down, and hopefully Tulio gasses. Poteria does have at least good cardio. So I'm going to go Tulio here. Don't like it. Not going to touch it. Maybe by KO, which I'd be interested to see what that 9 is, what Vegas placed that line, because, again, Poteria has been knocked out quite a bit. Yeah, Marco Tulio to win by knockout, minus 165. Don't know if that's the juice is worth the squeeze, boys. Don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze, but give me Tulio. All right, next up, you got Jose Johnson, minus 185 versus Felipe Burns, plus 154. Felipe Burns wears a cool little hat. Guys who walk to the octagon and they do their post-fight speech in cool little hats are, what are they, 1,001 maybe? like they don't lose with the cool little hats. Jose Johnson, in the best way possible, this guy's a journeyman. He's fought everywhere. He's fought everybody. Has a good triangle off his back. Has some good submission skills. And I think is getting better. His last couple of performances I thought were decent. They weren't bad. But it's just hard for me to fucking be like, I'm going to fucking run to this guy. I'm going to bet this guy. This is the guy. This is the guy I'm going to put everywhere. Minus 185 is a really good number to put in parlays if you're really confident Jose Johnson. I'm going to go Felipe Burns. I don't know why. This is a gut pick. I'm going to give you one gut pick. Well, there's a lot more gut picks than that, but I'm going to give you one true gut pick. I haven't really dove into the stats. Felipe Burns, I know, isn't a tremendous fighter. I think Jose Johnson, like I just said, is fighting better, but just gut tells me that Johnson just sometimes can't close the show. And if it goes a decision, if it goes longer, I think Felipe Burns is going to do it. And I think we're going to see an interview with a cool little hat, man. I think that's what it is. Give me Felipe Burns. Not overconfident in it, but, fuck it. Let's do it. All right, main card time. So I'm going to say this probably 200,000 times this year. I apologize if I repeat myself. I already did all these fights on the Anakin Florian. Go check that out. All my picks haven't changed. But again, my breakdowns, my brain capacity is only so small. I can only do so many different kind of breakdowns. But here we go. Urso Medic, minus 192 versus Punahela. I love saying Puna's name. Punahela Soriano. Puna, plus 160. This was a slam dunk when I first read it. I was like, Urso Medic all the way. This dude's a fucking killer. Then you go back and watch Puna's last fight, and this dude's landing takedowns now. Before, he's just throwing sledgies, right? Sledgehammers. Whoa, and then gets tired and loses, right? Now he's mixing his wrestling, which he does have a good wrestling base. Against Medic, who struggles or has struggled with guys who take him down. And Puna is a big body dude who could take down Medic, So that's a little scary here for betting Medic. However, I'm still picking Medic. One of the reasons why I didn't slime him is because I think Puna wrestles could be a game changer, could change the momentum of this fight, could change a lot of things. But I'm going to go with Medic, because I just think he's a better fighter all around. I think his striking is lethal. I think if you can get Puna away from him, play the distance game, he picks him apart, stop some of those takedowns. You can get taken down maybe a couple times, but you got to pop back up, big boy. And you got to throw some hands, you got to throw some kicks. You got to be lethal. You can't let that shut you down. I think Medic is, he's got a nice little number at -192 next to his name, but he's got to be lethal in this fight. He can't let the threat of the takedown control everything. He's got to be lethal, and I think he will be. So I'm going to take him there. Again, not slamming him up, not putting him in a lock on him or anything like that. Not really see how he gets it done. Probably, he could knock out Puna. Puna's pretty durable, but he could knock him out with some kind of kick. I don't care how good your chin is. Front kick to your fucking chin, dead. You know what I mean? But maybe by decision, we'll see how that shakes out when, again, what prop I might be chasing on that, since I'm not going to do it money lines, since money lines are high, but give me your Shermanics. All right, next up, Austin Bashi, -265 versus Christian Rodriguez, C-Rod, +215. Love this fight. C-Rod was the guy, the bully, right? He bullied everybody. Bullied Rojas Jr., Cameron Simon, bullied him up. You know what I mean? I think this dude probably shouldn't be at 145, but he couldn't make 135 reliable, so they made him go up. He's a thicker dude. And Bashi is literally what everyone was talking about 10 years ago of what the new MMA fighter will be. You're going to have kids that are good at everything. You're going to have kids that have been wrestling since they were fucking come out of the womb, right? You know what I mean? You have kids with a singlet on when they're 1, and you're going to have jiu-jitsu at 5, and you're going to have boxing after that. And that's what Bashi is. This guy's been around, been doing it forever. He's a young guy. He's looked really good in the Contender Series. Threw a lot of submission attempts out there, threw a lot of grappling transitions, never got tired, super confident in himself. I like that. I like Bashi in this spot here. I think this is a good competition for him. I think this is C-Rod, even though I think he might be a little undersized here, is a very good fighter. Comes from a very good camp. Highly touted from the people that have trained with him. They said this dude's the real fucking deal. And I believe those people that say that, but I think Bashi's the real deal. So I don't love the number at -165. I wish we can get a lower. I wish C-Rod could get a little more respect. I see a lot of people, or I don't see it. I will probably see a lot of people taking C-Rod on the dog side. Totally understandable. I'm going Bashi. I'm sliming him up as well. That's candidate number 2. I just couldn't get there on C-Rod. I think Bashi is a special guy. I want to keep my eye on this young man. Not in that kind of way. I like chicks. You know what I mean? I like chicks, but I'm going to keep my eye on this young man. All right, next up, my guy, everyone knows, Chris Curtis. +220 versus Roman Kopylov, -270. Chris is doing a little press tour this week, saying the only person he ever turned down was Potan Pereira. But before the Bruno Silva fight, he apparently got offered that fight. He said, fuck no. I love the honesty from Chris. It's just the kind of guy what you're going to get. You're going to get the honesty from Chris. He also thought Kopylov sent some Russian spies in to train on him, or Russian spies to train. And then when Kopylov came in the town, they left the train with him. And, he was all upset about that, but that was apparently was a misunderstanding. So he has since apologized for that. He looks lean. I know with his time off, after tearing his quad. What did he tear? Not his quad, his hamstring. I know his objective was to get a little bit bigger, right? He wanted to size up. This guy spent most of his career at 170. He's listed at 5'10" or 5'11", I think. I can't remember what they have him listed at. He's not. He's about 5'9" with shoes on. So a smaller 185er, but he's thick. He's got a big old head, big neck, big back, good chin. It's only been put out once in his MMA career. That was by Ray Cooper. And he's got another striker here against Kopylov, and they're both very, very different, which is very interesting to me because when I break down fights, I'm not a jiu-jitsu expert. I really like striking. That's what I prefer to watch. That's what I prefer to kind of focus on. And I think Chris's boxing is very, very good. I think Kopylov's defense is a little weak, but as Kopylov's kicks are elite. Chris's footwork, I think, has taken a step back in his last 2 fights. I think Jack Hermanson kind of exposed his footwork. Chris is never the fastest guy, but his timing is elite and he's fearless in the pocket. He's got to go for it. He's got to go forward. He's got to land body shots. He's got to slow down Kopylov, who has slowed down in the past, who has adopted a little bit more of a grappling game his last few times out. Chris got taken down 6 times by Brendan Allen. You got to think Kopylov might be like, I can take this dude down. Chris doesn't have any submissions off his back. He's not going to submit anybody. He's going to get taken down to get back up, right? His submission defense is very tight. He couldn't get submitted by Brendan Allen, who had his back multiple times. But Chris can crack. And Chris lands, it hurts, and Chris lands, it does some damage. He knocked down Brendan Allen, knocked Brendan Allen down a bunch of times, outstruck Brendan Allen in that fight. Very close fight. I thought Chris lost it in that final round with the final exchange. I think that's what cost him that fight. Brendan Allen's an elite guy who Chris already has a win over. But everyone knows I'm close friends with Chris Curtis. I trained with the guy years ago. He's my brother, so I'm never going to pick against him. He's my dog lock.
Hello? Hey, this is Dog.
I'm not surprising anybody. This is going to be a really interesting fight, though. It's going to be very different because, I think Kopylov is a very good striker, kick heavy, and Chris is punch heavy. Chris doesn't kick a lot. Defensively, he's very sound, but he's very sound when it comes to like punches in the head, right? How sound is he with the head kicks? Because he got head kicked by Jack Manson and slipped through a little bit. If you rewatch that fight, there was a head kick that he blocked that slipped through. Kopylov's got heavy kicks, heavy body kicks, heavy leg kicks, and he will go upstairs. And he darts off at an angle, right? Every time he exits the pocket, he's going to keep his distance because he's longer than Chris. Bink, 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 and then cut an angle. And Chris could struggle with that. Chris can't walk in a straight line, but he's got to cut the cage off. He's got to put hands on him. Can't go backwards. You got to go forwards. He knows all this. This isn't anything new to him. And this is like his fucking 100th fight. So I like Chris, though. I think Chris can get to him. I think Chris can hit Kopylov. When it first got announced, I was very confident. I rewatched Kopylov's most recent fights because his early UFC fights were kind of duds. His most recent performances have been really good. And this guy's made vast improvements. And he's very fast with his kicks as well. So I just think Chris has got to put hands on him because, again, Kopylov, the one thing I will say, all the compliments I gave the guy, he does get hit quite a bit. And Chris hits you a little different. And Chris is going to hit you multiple times over and over and over again. And, again, his timing's very, very good. So if you throw a naked kick or you don't set something up right, Chris is going to fucking straight left hand down the pipe. And that could be it. But give me Chris. Next up, Cesar Almeida. Who? Cesar Almeida, minus 298, versus Abdul Razak Alhassan, plus 240. A lot of people on Twitter I see love Alhassan at this plus money. Kenny picked Alhassan at the plus money. Almeida, I think, still has a long way to go. It's funny, he came from kickboxing and everyone built it up that he's going to fight Pereira when he gets there, right? But he, hasn't looked all that great striking, in my opinion. I think his takedown defense and his get-up game has been really surprising. His cardio has been pretty pleasantly surprising. He is now training with Pereira or at least he was. Is he still doing that with Glover and them? Or was that just one camp? Either way, he hasn't blown anybody away with a striking, which I thought he would, considering he has a win over Pereira in kickboxing. But different kind of striker, different kind of style, not overly powerful. Does have some power, but it's more take your time. I'm going to set some shots up, and then I'm going to win that way with just pure technique, and he has that. But it's just not the most beautiful thing to watch. However, I like Almeida here. I think Alhassan has good judo and is going to want to grapple a little bit. He's got big power as well. All those things are possible. Like he could take Almeida down. He could throw some huge shots when Almeida thinks he's comfortable in the pocket and put Almeida down. But I don't see that happening. I think Alhassan is unfortunately just a little too inconsistent for me. Nice number next to his name. If you're going to play Alhassan, I would maybe play him by KO, which get a nice juice number on it. But I'm going to go Almeida by decision. I think Almeida is going to weather a storm, maybe weather a couple judo throws or takedowns in that first round, get back to his feet, and then slowly chip away at Alhassan, who might not have the best gas tank going 3 rounds, especially 3 rounds grappling at a certain pace. Alhassan likes to end the fight early. If he doesn't, where's that gas tank at, bro? You know what I mean? Where's that gas tank at, bro? All right, come in, man. Need a little hair of the dog there. All right, next is Santiago Ponzinibbio. Sexy name. Not as sexy as Ignacio, but pretty good. Minus 118 versus Carlston Harris, minus 102. Last time I looked, let me double check this. Last time I looked, Carlston Harris has fallen into plus money. Let's see if it's true. Plus 120 now on Carlston Harris. Interesting, because I like Carlston Harris a lot in this fight. And I'm sliming him up. There's a plus money in the slime ball to start the year off. Listen, Ponzinibbio, a little bit older. And I just think, he's wearing some of these wars. He's got a huge heart. The guy won't quit on himself, has some real good skill, but he is getting older and the chin is going. Carlson Harris is a guy who I think he's lost to some really good names, and people are sleeping on this dude a little bit, right? I think his submission games on the ground are unique. They're good. He's got long arms. He can win that way. I think his striking isn't the most polished in the world. I think Ponzinibbio has cleaner, more technical striking, but I think Carlson Harris, if he lands something on Ponzinibbio, that could be a problem as well. We could be looking at a club and sub. We could be looking at just a flat knockout for Carlson Harris. I like Carlson Harris. When I picked this fight on Monday at the Annika Floyd, he was minus 102. He's gone up to plus 120. So there's a lot of cappers out there that go, I moved the line, bro. You know what I mean? I gave a pick and the line moved. The line moved the other way with your boy. You know what I mean? People are fading your boy. I'm not a big enough money player to move any kind of lines. I mean, sure, maybe people listen to my advice, and if there's whales out there, they could move the line. But I don't really ever, credit myself to moving any fucking lines. And I think when cappers do that, it's silly. Oh, your pick and your $25 bet move this line that way. Okay. But no, they went the opposite way. They went plus 120, and I haven't placed this line ball yet, so I got to rebuild it because of what I got. I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you the new number because usually I place it by the podcast. I haven't placed it yet, so that'd be interesting. All right, Carlson Harris is going to win. He's going to win by finish. Main event rematch. Mackenzie Dern, hubba plus 170 versus Amanda Ribas, minus 205. This fight happened when Mackenzie Dern was kind of chubby, kind of never caring about MMA, didn't want to make weight, didn't care about the sport, was a pure grappler with no wrestling, no stand-up, and got beat up by Ribas. Just beat up. I think that's going to be different now. I think Ribas has gotten better. I think Mackenzie Dern's gotten a lot better. She's in incredible shape, right? Phenomenal shape. Her wrestling is still not where I want it, but her striking's come along. She's working with Perillo. And the thing about Mackenzie Dern is she's scrappy. She's tough. She can take a shot, right? If Ribas couldn't finish her back then, she ain't finishing her now, right? She took some bombs from Jessica Andrade and has learned from that. But Mackenzie Dern is scrappy, and Amanda Ribas is chinny. She got a weak chin, bro. There's some weakness in that chin. Amanda Ribas, phenomenal fighter. Looks like a sweetheart, everything like that. But I think she's cooked here. I like Mackenzie Dern. I love the plus money. This was almost my dog lock. This could be my second dog lock of the week. It's going to be my green hammer. I don't have my green hammer. Oh, yeah, I do. I didn't think I have it. I got it. Woo! Green hammer. Now, I kind of have two. But I'm going to give you one for the record, and I'm going to tell you I'm betting the other one. So my green hammer for Mackenzie Dern. She's going to win by submission at plus 450. Plus 450 by submission, Mackenzie Dern. I think she gets it there by dropping Ribas with a strike. Because Mackenzie Dern, again, striking isn't beautiful, but there's some power behind it. You ain't got to be pretty, right? But if it puts you down and Ribas's durability is an issue, we're looking at a club and sub. You know what I mean? So I'm taking the sub for the green hammer at plus 450. But I'm also going to bet by a KO at 10-1. 10-1. Minus 1,000. 10-1. Mackenzie Dern by KO. Yes. Green hammer. Mackenzie Dern by submission plus 450. Yes. Double yes. One's tracked. One's not. I like both. And then even, oh, geez, I just about broke my desk in half. You see that? People don't realize how strong this is. I just hit my desk with it. Could have broke this whole thing in half. Show over. Whew. God, I got lucky on that one, boys. Green hammer's powerful. Mackenzie Dern money line too, plus 170. Woo! That's it. All right, recap. Mortal lock, Thiago Moises. Dog lock, Chrissy Curtis, the action man, king of combat. And then the send him home, Magomed Gadzhiasulov, however you say that name. Slime ball parlay. This is what I got the number yesterday. Again, didn't place it, but we're going to build a new number. Carlson Harris, Austin Bashi, Thiago Moises was plus 310. That was yesterday, or maybe even 2 days ago. Let's see what it is today, okay? Thiago Moises, Austin Massey, who's come down a little bit too. And 373. Slime ball parlay. Thiago Moises, Austin Bashi, Carlston Harris, plus 373. Ooh, dog. I like them. That's it. That's the show, baby. First pick 'em of the year. Hell of a pay-per-view next week. The 18th, I will be back. Maybe live, maybe record it. See what we got to do, but I'll be with the one and only future Hall of Famer, Evan Longoria. He's already texting me. He's already doing prep. He's already talking about Ricky Tercios. That's how much this guy's into it. Evan Longoria, who's worth $100 million, is texting me going, Ricky Tercios might win a fight. Never thought it happened in this world, but this is what MMA does to us. Turns us all into fanatics, all this bunch of dorks. I love it. Hit that fucking subscribe button. Again, watch the State of the Union. It's on this channel, and watch that. Listen to it. If you have more suggestions, you want to come on the show, you do your own show. You're a capper. Hit it in the comments. Hit who you want me to see on the show. Improvements, all that good shit. That's it, baby. That's the show. Anything else? Nah. Let's win some money.